celebrating not only Hispanic Heritage Month, but celebrating the diversity that WMATA offers to all of our employees. So I'm just here to quickly introduce Roy Aguilera, one of our senior VPs here at WMATA. So without further ado, Roy.
Hello, everybody. Roy Aguilera. I'm here at Metro for about 1 year, and I'm very excited to be part of the ERG here for Hispanics and Latinos, and to just make sure that as we're working in the organization to network. One of the things about Latinos, trabajamos muy duro, pero la cosa es we don't network enough. So these meetings and these gatherings are so we can network, get to know each other, and help each other as we're traveling through our journey of life. So very proud to be part of this organization. If you need anything from me, please reach out, and please reach out to all members of our ERG. So I'd like to present Alberto Moreno.
Buenos días. Buenos días. Good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank our Vice President, Roy Aguilera, committed from day one, right? For his great words. Roy, thank you for being a strong leader, for helping us move forward as our executive sponsor of the Metro Avanza ERG, Employee Resources Group. Some people asking, where's the ERG? Employee Resources Group, okay. Well, my name is Alberto Moreno. I'm honored to stand here today as the president of Metro Avanza ERG. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I came to US 22 years ago, leaving behind a tough situation, like many of you. I came here looking for hope and better future. In my case, I was escaping from socialism. Coming to the US changed my life in many ways. I got married here. I have my wonderful son. This country gave me not only opportunities in my career, but also a chance to build a family, and for that, I'm truly grateful. I have been with Metro for 11 years, and it has been an amazing journey. But when I first started, I noticed something wasn't right, especially for a federal contractor like Metro. Latino representation was just 3.28%. In a region with an over million Latinos, that is 16.5% of the population of DC, Maryland, and Virginia, what we call the DMV area. This was a problem. It was clear that something needed or changed. That's when we started Metro Trabajo, the Metro Trabajo program, the employment program. We created this program to bring more Latinos into Metro and to give them the opportunity to grow and succeed. In less than a year, we increased Latino representation from 3.28% to 5.8%. But we know this is just the beginning. There is still a lot more work to do. Today, I'm excited because we are celebrating the first official Metro Avanza event. So. During the Hispanic Heritage Month. This is a big achievement, but again, it's only the start. We're nearly 800 Latinos already making a big impact on Metro. Now is the time for you to get involved. I invite you to join us in this great initiative. Become an active member of Metro Avanza ERG and help us continue building a strong, united, and successful Latino community at Metro. Together, we can do even more, right? For over 8 years, many of us worked hard to create this ERG, right, Cecilia? We kept trying and trying, but it wasn't until we had a strong support from leadership, like our fantastic GM, Randy Clark, and our general manager, and Darlene Slaughter, our Chief of Diversity and Inclusion. First, Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Metro for the last 40 years. Like, that's what finally happened, right? So the commitment has been amazing, and we thank them for making today possible. But today is about all of us, right? We have a fantastic program ahead. You will hear from Latino leaders who have gone through Metro's leadership program. They will share their stories, their challenges, their victories, and their advice for success. And we have something special for you, a live performance from Jonathan Acosta, a 2024 Latino Grammy nominee. He will be performing a beautiful music from Latin America for us today. I'm so proud to be here with all of you. I'm excited for what's coming next. This is the start of something big for Latinos at Metro. We are building a stronger community, and we are making our voice heard. Thank you all for being here today. Our Metro Avanza team, Jose, Marionelli, Cecilia, Melody. Now let's keep the celebration going. With that, I will hand it over to our amazing MC, DJ, and Metro Avanza Vice President, Jose Reyes. Take it away, Jose.
Excellent, thank you, Alberto. One thing for my introduction, I forgot to say, my name is Jose Reyes. I am the Vice President of Metro Avanza, and I'm a native Washingtonian, born and raised. So being in my hometown, working for my hometown agency, and seeing all these amazing faces in front of us, Latinos, making waves, right? Growing up as a kid here in DC, it was, I won't say it was difficult, but it's great to see how far we've come and how far we're gonna go. So without further ado, I'm now going to introduce Canek Aguirre, board member of Metro.
Is it still morning? Yeah, I think good morning still, everyone. Buenos dias. So my name is Canek Aguirre. I am an alternate board member from Virginia. I got to this position through the Northern Virginia Transportation Commission because I am the first Latino ever elected in the city of Alexandria, Virginia. It's very exciting to be here today. Like Alberto and Jose were saying, this is a long time coming. Me personally, I'm still trying to get employee resource groups going in the city of Alexandria, so excited to see what's happening here at WMATA, trying to duplicate some of that across the river and everything. But excited for this panel. We're gonna get into it in a second. Just real quick though, I did want to also introduce one of my fellow board members from Maryland, Mr. Don Drummer. He's trying to hide in the back, but you can't hide. All right, we're gonna pass the mic to yep. Are you going or? Cecilia, it looks like you're up.
This is being ready on the go, right? Yes, let me just get it closer. Thank you, everybody, and thank you all the planners, all the people that we don't see that are always working in the background. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Cecilia Castillo Yometzi. I work for the Office of Equal Employment Opportunity. I have been at Metro for 7 years. And the first thing that I want to point out is my name. My name is Cecilia Castillo Ayometzi. And Ayometzi is actually Nahuatl. My mother was Nahuatl. She was one of these, what they call now, original towns in Mexico. My entire life, I have been in between. I have never been accepted completely. When I was a child, I remember I spoke funny because I didn't speak Spanish. I didn't realize that. So I was with my little friends, and you know, I will speak really funny things, and they will laugh. And that determined my career. So I was very much interested on issues of language and identity. I've been living in this country for 30 years. I have been recognized, sometimes humbly I say I don't deserve it, but I have been recognized in terms of getting scholarships and fellowships to do a, kind of go further, a PhD in linguistics. I studied at Georgetown University. I was trained to actually be men and women for others. That was our main education. I have been interested on issues of access and issues of equal treatment. I now work at the Office of Equal Employment Opportunity. I take care of the responsibilities of the institution to treat everybody equally and to provide services in the languages that they requested. For those of you that don't know, we serve 9 groups, 9 languages. Right now, they're the top languages, including Spanish, so my language skills come handy. I regret it, I don't speak Nahuatl. I think one of the important things of being in this panel is to be able to recognize institutions and how institutions can make us or break us. Institutions like Metro has been very good to us. It has been very good to me. We just finished a program with the HYPO program, the Hub Leadership Program, and they taught us a lot about ourselves, and they taught us a lot about what we have to give to others. Again, the Jesuit tradition, right? I'm looking up there because I have two Jesuit people in the back. One of the things that I have been committed for 10 years before I work at Metro, I was working with the DC mayor. I was actually the person that launched the DC Language Access Act. And for the first time, I actually did something good. I remember always my professor saying, be good, but not only good, be good for something. So actually make something good in this country. So I thank you very much for welcoming us here. I'm still in between. I'm still, when talking to people and they hear the wonderful accent I have, the first question I hear is, where is home? Home is DC. I have been in this country for 30 years. Thank you.
Actually, there's going to be a lot of themes intermingled here, so some are already kind of bubbling up, but we're going to go ahead to
a little bit of what we're
Marionelli.
talking about, right? We're going to talk about. Good morning. My name is Marionelli Fraser Vicenti. I am from Puerto Rico. I am from the town of Ay Bonito. It's a town in the middle of the island, really far from the beach, where chickens and cows and everybody runs around. That's where I'm from. But my story is a little particular because my dad used to play basketball in Puerto Rico. My dad is from Panama, so that's why I have my two flags in here. So I identify myself with both. I'm Puerto Rican and I'm Panamanian also. So my mom is from Puerto Rico, born and raised in Puerto Rico, in that hometown that I was born. She's there, they still there. Actually, my dad has been more time in Puerto Rico than he has been in Panama right now. So he's more Puerto Rican, as he said, and at some point he said, I'm Puerto Rican right now. But he has his accent, which is something that Cecilia talks about, which is pretty nice because I know that he's from another place, we're diverse, and my family is pretty diverse in that part. I am a mechanical engineer. I don't work in here in Metro. I actually work in the quality department, but I came in 2012. Like everybody, looking for a better opportunity, right? Looking for being better, for have something better for my family. At that moment, I passed through a negative experience there in Puerto Rico in terms of I was pregnant, I stayed without a job, and everything revolves in that, to make a decision to come here to the States. My daughter was born in Puerto Rico, my little one was born here in Virginia, so we're in there. Our family is pretty diverse, that's what I can say. In terms of how things has been for me here, of course at the beginning, it was a shock, right? Getting to whatever is the area, whatever is all the people that are in here, and of course getting into what is need to be done to be successful in this particular area of the United States. If I can say something else about, I start cleaning bathrooms when I arrived here to the United States. So I didn't even have a job regarding my career. I had to start with whatever comes, and whatever comes was cleaning bathrooms. So that's what I did for a couple of months before I was able to move here to this area and then continue that particular things about getting into the field again, find a new job, and do all that kind of stuff. I have learned a lot. I have evolved here in Metro as soon as I started here because of Alberto. And the funny thing is that it was not me who was supposed to come Metro. It was supposed to be my husband. He was the one who met Alberto in some CDL classes in Alexandria. And he just gave Alberto my resume. He said, here it is, my wife is here with me. We're looking for a better future. Can you talk to her and see what we can do? And that's what happened. I just filled it up, getting here, have an interview, and from nowhere in terms of time, I was here in Metro. It's been 8 years. It's been fascinating working in here. People doesn't know what is inside here until they come to this structure, which is the phenomenal thing for me, because when people ask me where I work, I say I work in Metro, and they're like, well, no, that's magical in there. That's a lot of stuff in there. It's really big. There's a lot of people, and we have to thank everybody that works in the operational side that makes this this part of the United States to be movement. So thank you for being here. All of us in here have a story, and it's important to talk about our story. Everybody should be able to listen how wonderful people have been able to overcome stuff and how opportunities are outside there. Our purpose in here is to talk about that opportunities so people can take that and make something great and represent any part of the Latin American culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianelli. Peter, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Hola, buenos días. Good morning. My name is Peter Morales Nieves, two last names. Something that I said once and people didn't know, and I will say it again. Hispanic, we carry two last names representing your father last name, your first one, and your mother last name, the second last name. That is why Peter, my name, my father name is Pedro. Peter is Pedro in English. Morales is my father last name, and Nieves, my mother last name. I'm from Puerto Rico, like Maronelli, from the center of the island, a town named Naranjito. This small town, my father is a farmer, and the town is so small that I was born in a different town. We didn't have a hospital like close by. Like we had to, my mother had to drive probably an hour to get born. Yeah. My father is a farmer. He's a plantain from Puerto Rico. Everybody say that we have the mancha de plátano. And actually I have it because my father, that is what he harvests over there. I'm product of public school. Like my whole life went to public school. Lucky for me, Puerto Rico, the school system is really good. College, they're the best. Like I can, yeah, I can, yes, same university, we went together, we just met and we were sharing information. I'm from the University of Puerto Rico. I got into the university in 2001 and finished my civil engineer degree in 2006. During that time, economy was really bad everywhere. Living in an island, you kind of live in a bubble and you think everything is in that island, like everybody, everything that you know is in that small island, like around, surrounded by water. During that time, I tried to look for a job everywhere. The opportunities were working 60 hours a week, being underpaid. And at that time, I have opportunities to do a master degree. They say okay. I started to do my master like 2006 to 2009. 2009, economy is still bad, and my wife, lucky for her, she got an opportunity to come to DC to work, and I moved with her over here. My first job opportunity was Home Depot. Came here as a civil engineer with a master's degree in transportation, and lucky for me, I found a job in Home Depot. During the interview, I was good enough to do garden. Like I say, hey, I'm a civil engineer. I can do the construction side, I can do the electrical side, I have knowledge. I say, no, you're good for garden. They say, okay, I take it. I was there pushing mulch, getting mulch to people's cars, and from there, my first job opportunity came, a company, a local company, actually, I see them, and I worked for one day with that company. They called me, they interviewed me, and I was accepted. And they say, hey, what you do now? I say, I work in Home Depot. How much you make? I say, I make $10 an hour. They say, forget about that. Come and work for us. Work the first day, and they say, hey, we're going to talk money about at the end of your day. Like, I think they were testing me. At the end of the day, they kind of ask everywhere, say, hey, how he did? I was doing land surveyor. And everybody say, oh, he's great. He did a good job. And then he say, how much you make in Home Depot? I forgot it. And I say, yeah, I make 10 something, almost 11. I say, okay, I'm going to give you 13. You're going to make $2 more. And I say, no, this is not for me. And from there, actually, I quit to Home Depot to take that job. And that is kind of was bad because now I didn't have nothing to do. And Home Depot bridge, because it's a bridge for something else, was my bridge to learn English, like coming from public school in Puerto Rico, like grade school system, but my English wasn't the best back then. Uh, from there, I start applying like everywhere at the point that when they call you, you don't know who's calling you, you say yes. I got my first job opportunity in DC with a company. I'm not going to mention names just to keep it kind of, with a company. They gave me the first real opportunity with a decent salary based on my background. Like I'm a licensed engineer PE with a master's degree. I was underpaid. I worked with them for a year. And finally, in the private system, they tell you, hey, when the project is almost complete, they start sending people home. When they send you to the main office. When they send you there, they keep you like 2 weeks. And after that, they send you home. That 2 weeks, they're just paying you. Then when they send you home, they stop paying you until they get a new project for you. They send me to the main office, and then I say, okay, I need to start making money. And I start looking everywhere for a job, and WMATA called. Like they had this great hiring event, and I came. I did this interview. We have like a big table, and we were doing like a dating, and I got hired. That was like a speed dating. I got hired, and something great that happened that I knew this was the best play for me was that I got hired. The first offer, they say, hey, Peter, you got hired. This is your offer. I say, yes. You want it? Yes. They call me the same night. I say, hey, Peter, somebody else with the same position got hired, and he got more money than you. That means we're going to match it. And I say, wow, I'm being underpaid everywhere. And this place, without me knowing, they already matched an offer that I didn't know about it. And then I knew, yes, WMATA is the best place for me. And thank you. I'm going to cut it there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Listo, Edgar.
Good morning, everyone. I'm pretty happy to be here. Sorry about that. I'm pretty happy to be here today, and I'm glad you all made it. My story is has a little sadness to it, but after a civil war in El Salvador, the country was devastated with their economy. I was born in San Salvador in a place called Ilopango, and well, my dad had to move into the United States, not in a legal way, I would say, but he was managed to get a proper documentation, and he was able to bring us over here. He always was looking for a better future for us. I came here when I was like 19 years old. I went to school in El Salvador. Most of my schooling is from El Salvador. I went to a trade school as a mechanic. My story as a mechanic started from young age. I remember since I was little, I always wanted to be a mechanic. I always wanted to tear cars apart, and I see some of the guys here that probably relate to that. And so I moved into this country. My dad always wanted to look for opportunities for us. When he came to this country, he said, oh, I have found a great place, and there's a great opportunities in this country, and I want you to all come in here. And when he brought us, my brother, my sister, and I, we came here. We didn't know. We didn't speak the language. It's hard. A lot of you can relate to that. And he always said, "Oh, I see a company you can work for." And I started like every other Latino that I know, and I found a job, but it didn't pay much. I think I made $300 a week working all Monday to Saturday in a small repair shop. And then my dad, he said, just keep going to school. I was happy that I was moving from school to school, 2 hours in Tuesday, 2 hours on Thursday in a different school, sometimes in church Sundays. And it was difficult, but it's possible to create great things in this country. And my dad also said, hey, I looked the shop that I was talking to you about it. Let's go and have an interview. He actually translated for me on that interview. And I felt pretty bad because I couldn't say what I needed to say on that interview. And he said, well, we always can come back. You know, they told me, learn a language, come back. You have the experience. And I did. I tried so hard, and my dad kept pushing me all the time. I just miss him so much because he's not with us anymore. He passed away for COVID. So it's pretty sad for me to say that he was one of my biggest support. And well, then I worked for this company about 10 years. I worked for Caterpillar company for 10 years as a mechanic. Did a lot of repairs, hydraulics, engines, transmissions, funnel drives. A lot of experience I gained in that company. Then I moved to another company they call Kenny International, which is international trucking company. I worked with them a few years, and then my dad was also looking for anything else. What's next? What we can do about you? You know, we're gonna get you a good future. We came across to Mr. Marino. We went to a church where he was interviewing some people, and he said, "Well, you're a great candidate to come to Metro." I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yes." So here I am, 9 years later. I'm pretty glad I did the move, and this is one of the greatest companies I can think of. It great benefits. I took a pay cut coming over here because you know it was making more money, but I was looking at the future and the benefits, retirement, a lot of the things that it comes when you think about your family. I'm glad I have a beautiful wife and 2 wonderful kids that I love them so much, and I had to think about them now. My dad thought about me, now I gotta think about them. So here I am. I'm pretty happy to be here. I came in 2015, and I moved up from mechanic D all the way to AA lead. Normally it takes about 5 years to do that, and it took me less than that because I was determined to get to the top. And later, I was interested when I was doing the leadman position. I heard about the bus reliability position, which is a little different, but I always wanted to be involved with the buses and fixing buses all the time. So being a leadman is half and half, I will say. A little bit is managing the workflow in the shops, but also you have to do part of a little bit of management. So I decided I have a few more years to work with these buses. I love what I do. So I said, no, I still want to fix more buses. So I moved into the bus reliability position where I'm at now. I enjoy it. We support the garages whenever they have issues that can be resolved right away. We normally support them. And it's a very small team of 4 of us. And we do the best we can to keep these buses on the road and have the customer happy. And that's our goal. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Gracias, Edgar. Now, Abel.
Good morning. My name is Abel Cárdenas. About 9 years ago, I found myself driving to work, listening to an AM radio station, a Spanish-speaking radio station, where in the morning show they had this guest from Metro talking about the different opportunities, the job opportunities. At that moment, I had no idea that Metro had other opportunities other than bus operators and train operators. So after that morning show ended, I contacted this person, which of course happened to be Alberto Mariño there. I introduced myself to him, and he helped me come into Metro. My first job was a construction inspector. I did that for about 5 years, and then I transferred to a different department as a construction inspection facilitator, which was similar job but with other responsibilities. And then I was promoted a couple of times as a construction engineer and then as an assistant project manager. And I most recently transferred to another department, track engineering, as a track engineer. And I'm very excited to continue learning and applying my knowledge to keep Metro safe and reliable.
Thank you, Abel. So like I was saying, there's going to be a lot of kind of intertwined themes, but some of the stuff that I just wanted to pull out real quickly, identity, our stories. Always remember, our stories are actually our strength. So make sure that you're utilizing your voice, telling that story. You never know who you're going to be interacting with, who you can inspire. Language, our names, hardship, right? Going through hardship. I remember myself when I graduated from college, I had a degree. I was working 80, 90 hours a week at a restaurant, at a grocery store, and at a medical, I was at the medical school. So there's just so much that's going on. And then the other thing I want to point out too is intentionality. This is something that I've been very passionate about in the city of Alexandria is where are we throwing our net? Where are we trying to get people from? How are we trying to interact with folks so that we can bring them into the family of WMATA? And clearly Mr. Marino has been doing a great job with that, going to churches, going to work expos, and then having that intentionality to try and find folks out in the community. So let's get into some of our questions. I don't want our panelists turning around, so I'm going to read the question up here, but this is open for anyone, so go ahead and jump into it. What strategies can Latino leaders implement to advance in their careers and support their communities in the workplace?
Strategy-wise, I think for me, for advancing is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Like know what you do, know every stakeholders that are around your task, like stakeholder is everybody that is involved. When you have the knowledge, then you can start guiding people what to do, take leadership, be responsible. Like when you know what to do, something go wrong, just say something. Sometimes when something go wrong, people kind of hide, and when something go wrong or doesn't work, that opportunity, see it as an opportunity to show what you know, how you solve it, and that is why how you evolve into a leader. Like when you know what you're doing, when you are guiding people how to doing, teaching people, learning, even learning. Like when you walk to a place or to a new position, you don't know anything. Just take the time. You have to learn. Like ask people. Like even if you're more senior, like here that we have this union and who is more senior, who is not more senior. You can learn from anybody. When you learn, knowledge is power, and from the power, then the leadership evolves by himself, by you guiding people on how to do a task or something like that. But that has been kind of my key learning.
Absolutely, and part of learning too, I think mentorship can come into that, being a mentee. Sometimes we get a little bit scared about that, maybe, nervous about that. Does anybody have any stories about mentorship?
My answer is it'll be a little bit more focused on the youth or the young Latinos or all the young in general. I know we have the youth program, but also I was thinking, because I've been asked before, what do you do in Metro? But sometimes they can't get a grasp when I try to explain. I guess I'm going in too much in detail, but it is something that I thought about it, like if you have a summer program where they can come and we can show them the ropes, or we can show them what it takes to move the city forward every day, every year, they can learn, and they can, like he was saying, you didn't know how many more jobs are available in Metro, and you don't have an idea, it's like a small city within the city. And a lot of the kids that I have talked to, they're interested in what I do, but if I can show them exactly what I do, they can probably say, oh yeah, there's something that I can do, or it's probably something that, no, maybe I'll try something else. And that when it comes to networking between us, between all the departments, the kids can spend times or weeks in different departments, and they can see what they really wanted to do in the future. Or they can actually decide, oh yeah, this is something that I can actually do. Because some of them, I asked and I said, so what are you gonna do when you go to college? You thought about going to college? Some of them, they're like, maybe not, maybe a YouTuber, maybe, TikToker. So that's like a common answer. And so I'm like, what about a real job that it will secure you with a job and a place you can talk to real people, you know? So
And you actually mentioned something that I'm glad you brought up, networking. As a community, I feel that a lot of times we don't talk about networking, but in other communities, it's something that's kind of natural, and they kind of teach the youth from an early age. So can anybody touch a little bit on how networking has helped for you, building alliances, getting to know other people, and how that might have helped with your career, or even somebody else's?
I think I want to approach the question from the original question, which is what is it that leaders could do to provide opportunities to advance? And I think the first thing that we need to pay attention is the voices, to have the presence. And the ERGs that now have been created, I think that will be one of the places that we can start make ourselves visible. However, I want to also emphasize that those voices and that platform that we could have is not necessarily to teach others who we are, but to learn through interaction, but to talk about issues of importance. So it's not a matter of getting together to eat taquitos and pupusas and have a good music, right? It's a matter to actually pay attention to the needs, to the advancements. What is it that the institutions are, what are the gaps? I see the executive leadership and I don't see any representation. There are very few. And I think actually in terms of many minorities, we want to see ourselves. I think one of the things that Edgar pointed out, and I can draw from that, you know, when actually you engage somebody that you can actually have an impact to say, look, you can do this. I went through my own path, I'm here, and I can actually help you to get here. That's representation. When we are in a meeting and we don't have many people that represent different point of views, you know what point of view is going to prevail. It has been proven through analysis and research that people like to recruit people that look like them. Let's feel uncomfortable. I remember in one of my trainings, in the training that we just finished, said, embrace uncomfortability as much as you can. Get to know others. Forget about what you have and you come, now look forward. So I think that's the job of the leader. And the leader doesn't mean that it needs to be in the executive suite. The leader is all of us, because all of us have an impact with others.
That actually makes a great transition to this next question, because it's really talking about what are the unique challenges that as Latinos we're facing as professionals in achieving these leadership positions, especially in an organization like WMATA with so much prestige and how big we are. You got the mic, go ahead.
I have the mic. Well, we have different challenges, but for me, particularly first, I'm gonna say, it's being passionate in my way of doing stuff. And it sometimes is misunderstood. Like for us as Latinos, it's misunderstood. Sometimes being so passionate about stuff, that we're about hardworking people, or you're coming here to take me something, or something is happening because we work really hard. And it's misunderstood. And we're loud. People, you see us here, but we're loud. So that's another thing. You're gonna see loud in a couple of minutes, but we're loud. So that is misunderstood in my particular experience has been that. Like, I'm passionate with my stuff. I talk with my hands. You see me holding this right now? It's because I need to control myself in that part. We talk with our hands. We have several stuff that put us not in a bad position, but it's a little bit more difficult, right, to get into some of the things that we have. We're pretty diverse here in Metro, and I know this area, the DMV, is pretty diverse if we compare with other areas of the United States. So maybe that's a little bit more like smooth for us to get into, but even though you have to work with that, you have to get into, you know, finding tools to be able to manage some of this stuff and to be able to say, okay, now I'm in a diverse environment. How can I get into a higher level, right? How can I do this? And you have to get diverse yourself, additionally to what you are as an individual, in order to do that. So for me, that has been, you know, a little bit of the thing. I'm loud, I'm passionate, and sometimes I'm misunderstood. Sometimes people think, are you mad? Are you mad right now? What is happening to you? I said, I'm not mad. This is me. This is how I am. I'm passionate what I'm doing. I'm going to be high. I'm going to be hot, and that kind of stuff. So yes, I'm not. It's just the way that you have to put yourself outside sometimes to be able to, to achieve, to go to the next step. So that's for me.
Yeah, and I can totally relate. On top of being on the WMATA board, like I said, I'm an elected official, and I've been told when I first ran that I'm too animated. I speak too much with my hands. I need to, be calmer. But it's part of nuestra comunidad, nuestra cultura. How we interact. And you touched on a couple of things too, because and Cecilia, I'm pulling from a little bit of what you said. The ERG is a place to network. It's a place where there could be mentorship, there could be learning. And so it's a place, like you said, to find gaps, because everybody's experience in the room, you say, hey, I'm having this issue, you could go to someone else in the ERG and be like, did you experience this as well? What are some tips that you could give me? How can I deal with some of these issues? And then the other thing, again, going back to intentionality, when I first got into office in Alexandria, we had 0 department heads that were Latinos. Representation matters. We now have 3, the police chief, the fire chief, and our director of transportation and environmental services. And it's that intentionality of where are we searching, because a lot of times people in hiring will say, oh, well, that person doesn't exist, or they're not out there. I'm like, I know we're out there. You look at the diversity in this room. We are here. You can't say that I can't find an Asian person for this, or an African American for this, or a Latino for that. We're all here. It's the intentionality of where we're looking, where we're searching for that. So that's part of the leadership too. So making sure that we're emphasizing to folks that we can find them. Go ahead.
Connect, and if I can just give you a lot of numbers, but just to give you an idea of the representation of Latinos in the area. So nationally, we have 19%. And the 3 jurisdictions that we service between 11 to 12%. Do you know how many we have at Metro? Any ideas? 5%. And I can give you the numbers too in terms of women. Of that 5%, 19% are women and 81% are men. And most of men work in operations. So when we look around, we don't have representation. I don't know how long, I've been in a project recognizing people that have worked 45 and 50 years. And I'm going to wait 45, 50 years to really be at that top. Now we know that we don't need to have representation actually to advocate for issues that are important, but we need to make awareness or bring awareness to the issues, to those gaps, to those difficulties that different groups have, not just the Latinos, Asian Pacific, LGBTQ, all the different groups that we have been created. So that's important to keep in mind. I don't know if I have an executive. I don't want to, we have a couple of executives here, but I think that's something that we bring attention, engage into a discussion, engage into a conversation, ask, how are things going? I think that's the beginning of the process.
All right, did you have some? Did you want to say something on this one?
I was just going to add to one of the challenges personally it was the language for me. And the language, not just the basic English, but the technical part of the language too. And training is very important. It is something that we can all relate to. If you need to move to a higher level, you need to be trained on it. You need to look for ways to study or find people or your network, like they were saying, ask around who's doing what, or what do they need, do I need to be on their position? That's all I wanted to add to it.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think rather than focusing on the challenges that we might have, I'd rather focus on the advantages that we have, such as being bilingual, bicultural, having life experiences of where we came from, having family values, and having our parents as role models, and all of those. I think I would rather focus on that and use that to our advantage. Perhaps the challenge would be to recognize those values and in the workplace.
Definitely strengths there for sure. I want to make sure we have enough time for some questions and answers from the audience. So I'm going to kind of combine the last two questions a little bit because we've kind of been answering both of them as we've been going. So an organization like WMATA is not just under a microscope because we're in DC in the capital. We're an example to the region, but we're also an example nationally to transit agencies across the entire country and to the world, you could say. So how can an organization like WMATA foster a more inclusive environment that empowers Latino employees to grow into leadership roles through high potential, mid-management, and emerging leaders initiatives? And then I'm gonna combo this into the second one too. These roles, how does the visibility and representation of Latino leaders play in inspiring the next generation?
So all of us in the panel has participated in the internal opportunities that WMATA have put in place. The hypo, the emerging, the mid-level. There's other ones outside available also, APTA, Leadership for Greater Washington. You know, we have take the time, right, to find the resources or talk about that or, you know, ask questions and put ourselves in that particular trainings. And that has been something really, for me, has been like, oh my God, look all the things that I can do, or look how I can interact with people now. My network has expanded. Also, I participate in external things with Alberto a lot in the Chamber of Commerce, in the SHEEP, all these Latinos in Transit, what else we had in there, Prospanica. So whatever comes outside and I have an opportunity, I take a moment and I do it. I'm not maybe 100%, but right, in terms of some of the stuff, I have 2 kids at home and I need to do that part also. But I have been able to do that to open up that doors. I think movement, it's really important. Movement give you opportunities, movement give you change. If you don't move, nothing is gonna come. So it's on us to be open, to have the, you know, the time to exchange or collaborate, networking, send a message, I don't know, go to one activity and then tell to your neighbor, hey, this activity is made every year, every 3 months, I don't know, something like that. Come and participate. We have music, we have food, you know, there's a lot of people in there. So that's part of being, for us, being involved in what WMATA has been doing. There's more stuff outside there. I'm pretty sure that the human resource area, human capital area, are trying to move more stuff, find more things for us, not just for Latinos, for everyone, right? For everyone that is in here. So please take a moment and go there and find that and embrace yourself. Learn, you know, be there and represent what you have. When that happens, people that want to listen, the other ones maybe not, but who wants to listen and see how you became all this stuff and come here and be what you have to be in here in Metro, you know, other opportunities will come for that, for sure.
Growth in the system, empowering the next generation. Go ahead.
Yes, WMATA is a great place. Like Maronelli just mentioned all the programs that WMATA have. For me and my team, I encourage them to do the education, like WMATA do tuition for up to a master's degree. Not a lot of people take advantage of that, but that, like, knowledge is power, and I encourage everybody can that have the time and is willing to do it to take advantage of that. I'm hoping, like I reached out to Alberto to try to do internship. When I was in college, I did like 3 different internships. From Puerto Rico, I went to Rhode Island. I did the TRB, Transportation Research Board. I did a presentation here in DC. That was my first time here. And having probably internship for Latinos, aimed to Latinos, because I have my people that I know to apply, but because from different state or in Puerto Rico that we're so far, probably they have not been selected, but aiming for that, I think it's a good opportunity to open the doors for talent Latinos that are coming out of school, and they can come here and have that first experience, can be helpful for the authority.
I would like to add, well, actually, I have a question. Does anybody know if we have a training for cultural awareness? So that's very important. So- so-
You touch another point about other trainings that are available for everyone in terms of other topics of diversity, inclusion, and that kind of stuff. So you are able to understand and able to learn, right? How to maybe approach someone, how to talk, how to, there's a lot of stuff that you can take, from that one. And as us Latinos said, sí se puede. You can do it. That's our main thing. Everybody says, sí se puede. Yeah, sí se puede. And that's really important.
Yeah, the reason I ask this is because I would like to see like one of those mandatory classes for upper management or mid management, so that way they can understand a little bit of the culture that is around everybody. So that way we can understand different point of views. It take a consideration. Sorry, my broken English coming up. Taking into account all the opinions that different people will have. It's a very diverse company, so that's one of the things that WMATA can do, implement that training.
Yeah, I think, like my peers said, WMATA already fosters the fosters yeah, it already fosters growth of its employees by having literally thousands of trainings and classes available. At least in my field, engineering, there are literally thousands of classes that I have that are available to me and I have taken advantage of. There are also other programs like mid-level leadership programs which you can take advantage of too. It's a matter of going into the website and finding all these opportunities. The opportunities are there for you to take advantage of, and they're open for everybody, not just certain groups. So please go ahead and take advantage of that.
Right. Cecilia, we're going to give you the last word.
So I think I'm just going to recap. I think there are two ideas. One, nobody's going to advocate for yourself. Advocate yourself for yourself. I have a wonderful team. I know my team is someplace here, of mutual respect, support, advancement, and perhaps in the past I haven't had that. So that had told me that you had to do it with your own will. Go and ask questions. For many of us that we took those trainings, ask us and see how did you go about to do it and just imitate it. Talk to your managers, to your friend, to your colleagues and say, hey, I would like to learn about this. I would like to, know how to give presentations, not to get nervous, not to move your hands too much, how to participate in meetings more, how to work with diverse groups. I think on one hand, we have the responsibility of our professional development. Nobody needs to tell us that. On the other hand, we had also, I don't want to say the right, but in a way, the openness to go to the executive team or to your managers and say, how could I get to this other point of my career? Would you have any recommendations? Remember, they are ahead of you probably by 5, 10, 20 years. And also, we have a very good group of people that have been mentors. I see some of them that you don't need to ask, just people that are very accessible, people that respond, right, when you send a message and actually help you. So just reach out to those people. So institutional support, but at the same time, be your own advocate. I think that's super important.
Look at that perfect segue because we're about to go to Q&A. But before, can we get a round of applause for our panel? So Cecilia said it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So we're going to open up the floor. Any questions out here? Don't be shy. Come on now.
Hello. we've talked about the professional side and how to advance. I also would like to touch on the cultural and heritage side of being, you know, Latina, Central America, South America. And I find it, you know, that a lot of people outside of our culture aren't privy to the different mixes that we are. We are a multicultural, ethnic culture. I know some people, we have a large, well, my family is Cuban American, and then we have a little bit of Trinidad and Tobago. In some parts of Trinidad and Tobago, they speak Spanish as well. And so a lot of people don't realize there are a lot of Jewish people. There's a huge Jewish community in Cuba as well. And in Central Latin America, a lot of people have migrated from the Middle East. We have a large Asian population too in Jamaica, Cuba as well. A lot of European Afro descendiente, I hope I said that right. A lot of European culture, a lot of African culture, as well as the indigenous culture. And also the Jewish culture, and a lot of Arabs have migrated to Central and South America. And I just wanted to highlight how vast the Latino culture is in this region of the world.
We are
And
not a monolith, that is for sure.
we are not, yes, definitely. And I just wanted to highlight that because that is also our advantage as well. And learning about that and then bringing that with us, no matter where when we come here to United States or wherever we go in the world, to Europe, to, you know, the Middle East, to Asia, that we have a little bit of those cultures.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
Thank
you.
in us.
Yeah.
So you can see someone, they, you know, they might not, according to, you know, norms or stereotypes, they might not look Latina, but you never know until they, you know, until you talk to them and you ask them, or you speak to them and they speak Spanish or whatever. But I just wanted to highlight that about
Thank you. Yeah.
Hispanic heritage.
Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Hello, good afternoon. So I'm relatively new to Metro, about 2 years or so. I'm an industrial hygienist working with the occupational health and safety team, which is great because it means that I can get to go check all of the folks that are in the field doing maintenance and making sure that they're safe, what they're doing. But I do know that there is a severe need of representation higher up. So for the two ladies in the panel, what can I do to make sure that I put my best foot forward in order to make sure that the representation for Latinos higher up are higher and that I'm doing all the things that I need to do?
We know it's a difficult, right, field for sure for women and even for Latinas, right? Let's say that. I think that we have a good resource. The best resource that we have right now in here is that gentleman that you see in there. Alberto, I don't think sometimes people know what Alberto do in this company. Like when he go outside, he is outside. Churches, like you said, schools, community centers, television, right? Because that's how my husband said that day, oh, I know this person, I give the resume, I'm gonna tell you who it is. I know I've seen him. By nowhere, one day we're on the apartment and he's like, that's the guy that I told, I give you your resume. So yeah, for now, Alberto is one of the persons. We are all involved in this, of course, but he had the main part in this, of this success. You know, he has been working this for 8 years. We came on board, right, when he was trying to figure it out how to put this in place. He had a lot of resources. We're looking to do an alliance, right, of trying to figure out how we can move in transit in terms of the DMV area. I was talking to him about that a couple of days ago. Like, how can we do that? How can we reach other areas to see percentages, you know, what we do with these individuals to the places that they're going through. Like, but the important thing now is spread the information, right? We're available here. If you find someone, right, in the field and you know that they're from the Latin, or identify themselves as a Latin community, from the Latin community, let them know we're here. Hey, we have an ERG group. Can you go ahead and contact Alberto, which is the president and the main one? He's gonna answer. He likes that. So he's gonna answer. And from there, we can continue, right, working through this. This is a process. This is not gonna be perfect from the first time. We have to work it. We have to be able to be available. Like I said, you don't have to be 100%, let's say, right? But it's important that if you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes to knock and say, hey, is there something that I can do? Or you guys have some kind of event? Can I go? Can I participate? You know, you need to decor, you need to do something, or you need me to, I don't know, say in my kids' school or whatever. That's the important part of this. Everybody has a little bit to put in place and we can move forward all this. But right now, if you can spread the word and say the ERG is available, they're in place, we're looking for stuff, we are here to work with anybody who wants to come and join us and identify with it. I am also part of the African American ERG, I'm sorry. I'm also part of that because, like she was talking about, we're pretty diverse in this. I have 2 roots and I represent both of them. I'm really proud to represent both of them. I have the Puerto Rican, we are a mix, which is something that people does not understand. They also always ask us, well, how you identify? I said, I'm the product of 3 races. That's what we are. Puerto Ricans are the product of 3 races: Indians, Spanish, and African American. So because I have that, and then I have my dad on the other side from Panama who had African American, Indian, and other, you know, white, everything. So for me, it's like, I need to identify with both and I need to work for both of them to make sure that we are in place, we are represented, and that we are part of this community. We represent a lot here in the US. Let's keep doing that. And thank you for the question, because it's important to spread the word about that we are here and that man over there is doing a great job for us here in Metro.
Yeah, let's give Alberto a hand, please. So we have one question in the back. We'll make this the last one real quick because we're running.
Let me just answer because I wanted to do it more in terms of my own personal bias, right? I will divide it in 3 parts. I will be an advocate for yourself. So the personal part, the other part will be the institutional, and then the third part will be your community. So the first part is the one that you have control. So advocate for yourself. You have 2 years? It's very short. So the best tool that you have in your hands is your performance evaluation plan. Meet with your manager or with your director, whoever you feel comfortable with, and also meet with your colleagues. So that's the institutional. Follow a path of knowledge and a path of improvement. Identify the gaps. It's very difficult to be humble and say, oh, I'm failing on this, but it's very good to reach out and say, how can I do better? And we have a lot of role models in terms of the institution, maybe not necessarily by gender or origin, but you do. So the first is institutional. The second one is yourself, the advocate, right? What I did at the beginning, it was very useful, and it was getting to meet people that you communicate with every day via email. Just sending a message and say, you know, I want to meet you. And I used my lunches on Friday, and I went to meet them. And I met a lot of people. And also you get to know the institution. It's a mini city, like Edgar said. And the last one is your community. Right now, the ERG is being put in place. It doesn't have everything together, but it could be a good resource. So 3 things. Be an advocate. It's yourself, your career. Nobody's going to speak for yourself. Second, institution. Your performance evaluation. Ask questions. Learn, learn, learn. In my training, sometimes people don't show up, and they tell us that Metro loses the money. So just train as much as you can, and then create a community. ERG is one, your colleagues at work, friends outside. So those three things, just keep in line and keep a journal on that so that you see where you started and when you ended. So hopefully that's useful.
And real fast, if she sends you guys an email and knocks on your door, you gonna answer? If she sends you an email or knocks on your door, you gonna answer? Yes. All right, we're short on time, so if you could ask your question 30 seconds or less, please.
Oh God, okay. Hi, my name is Ruth Johnson. I am an ambassador for Metro and I work in operation. I have a question regarding how to encourage Latinos in operation to pursue job in a higher level in Metro, especially in operation.
Can we get that answered in like 20 seconds, 30 seconds? Yeah.
Hello, it's a great question. It's pretty much what I have experienced in maintenance. I will say maintenance because that's my, that's what I'm at, right? I had great colleagues, like she said, great colleagues that encouraged me when I first came in here, and there was especially a supervisor. You have to find the right people. That's one thing. Because he said, I'm about to be a supervisor, but I'm gonna leave this position for lead man. This is all the things that you need to become a lead man. If you want better schedule, better pay, this is what you need to do. And that's what I did. So if you look around in your operations, it is always gonna be somebody. If it's not, you can come to me and I know some folks around the company, we can also help you out, and you can reach any of us. So we can create a plan, or we can meet people, and they can give you a better guidance. Oh.
Alberto.
Right here.
So, no, she just wants to know who to reach out to. We're telling her to reach out to you. So we have to wrap up. I'm sorry, unfortunately, we have to wrap up. So before we go, I'm going to introduce Darlene Slaughter. Darlene.
Thank you. That was a great introduction. Thank you. So, hi, everyone. As Darlene Slaughter, I'm the Chief Diversity Officer here at Metro. And I just want to start off by saying how grateful I am to see this room. And we launched last year, and we were actually here in this room, and we had a pretty good crowd, right? But we didn't have this crowd. Oh, okay, more to the center, sorry. More to the center, I did not be standing in front of him. Okay. And so to see all of you here to support this is what this is all about. To see all of the senior executives who are here. I have counted all of you, and I've taken note of all of you who are participating, because that's what we need, is for leaders to show up, for you to show up, for us to be able to do more and more things like this, for us to come out to you. We're actually talking more about coming out into the field so that everybody can't come here. For all of my amigos today who came with me from the bus maintenance group, thank you. They came on, we were all on the train together. So, I just want to say thank you for showing up. And for this panel, you were amazing. Not that you're not amazing, but you were amazing. And I think it's not really much for me to say other than this is what we do. Coaching, cultural awareness training, we can do mentoring, having conversations, going out into the community to talk about who Metro is, what we do, who we are, and all the opportunities that we have. So for all of you who are here, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and thank you for being here. For all of you who are not Hispanic, thank you for being here, because you too are a part of making this happen. And so I think I can end there. I think I'm standing in between music and food, so. So thanks, everybody.
So again, let's give Alberto another big round of applause, please. because he's been planning this for quite some time. We've got a great team together, but for me, it was very important that we highlight and showcase not just folks who are here in administrative offices. I wanted to make sure that we reached out to all of our frontline workers so they know that we're here for them. You could move up. You don't have to wear a suit and tie or whatever to move ahead, right? So I'm glad we see union workers here. I'm glad to see the blue uniforms. I see a bus operator in the back. Raise your hand. I see you sitting there, senor. Fantastic. We have our ambassador. So this is what we are about. You know, we're Latinos and we do this together. So muchas gracias. So without further ado, because I know we're short on time, but I will ask for those that are sitting in that side over there, maybe, or these folks over here, while he's doing this first instrumental number, if we can just stack the chairs up, because we do have another surprise coming in. We have some dancers who will be dancing a little bit. So without further ado, we have Jonathan Acosta, Latino Grammy nominee 2024, and first Venezuelan singer to sing the national anthem in the NBA and the Major League Soccer. So, Jonathan Acosta, a big applause, por favor.